M Night Shyamalan's newest film engages with an enticing thriller, or are we trapped in a film that does little for us? Welcome to Cinema, where we focus on a film. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought of Trapped. Is it good? Is it bad? Or somewhere right in the middle? Let me know all that. Make sure to like this video. If you enjoyed, subscribe if you're not already. Join Film Culture Community, where we talk about the love of cinema as a whole. But going right into the synopsis, a father and daughter attend a pop concert where he realizes they're at the center of a dark and sinister event. Getting right into the positive, there's a lot of good things we can say about M Night Shyamalan as a director, what he brings for the camera work, for the story as well, where we go from point A to point B, and creating off a great twist that this film is in no shortage of, and what we get throughout the film provides a sense of stamina that engages enough for the concert, his daughter's music that he is broadcasting on this film as well, and that entices enough engagement with what the energy has to go pulling off, having good characters, and Joshua Hartnett is great within his performance, being a little psychotic in some sense of what we're expecting for the build-up that is leading until the final twist or the final reveal, and there's a sense of stamina throughout that once we get into the moment of the twist and leading on after that, there's a sense of energy that really captures my attention and manages to hook me in throughout the ending through that films can capture as a whole. But going into the negatives, this is a film that leaves me very mixed, just with the general sense of the positives, but also the negatives that have led me into this conclusion of just there's plot holes here and there, contrivances that lead you on throughout, things that leave you scratching your head and questioning certain moments that shouldn't necessarily be happening, testing the danger of other people that are innocent, and going into different remarks where the concert arena isn't necessarily the most engaging scene, and throughout the first act and the first half of the film, it's just not personally as engaging. I understand certain directions of what we got from the trailer, what this was setting up as a whole, but I didn't really engage with all the advertising to really understand, and so this film didn't hook me very effectively until later on into the film. And once it really does clarify, answer the questions, I understand more of what I wasn't as engaged with within the first half, and so it leaves me mixed where I can understand what things were going on within the first half now that I'm understanding the context, but because I wasn't as hooked on to what they were writing in with the characters, to which some of the dialogue just wasn't necessarily as well written, and that's some of M Night Shyamalan's weakest part, is his writing, where this, even on his writer, he bragged that this was one of his quickest written films, and there's definitely some things that felt like it needed to be checked on a little bit more often, just with how things feel a little more artificial to certain conversations, and certain characters are brought into the screen that just don't offer a whole lot to be had, where there's these characters here that sort of provide a little extra, but don't end up being at the end for where we're ending with our goal as a whole. And so there's things that just don't ultimately work for the story as a context, and what the patience you have to have going throughout the first act of the film. If you're not engaged with that, it may answer your questions near the end, but that's just my experience that I had, that things didn't pull me in right away, and certain aspects of the nature of the atmosphere, even though the direction was good, there are certain camera shots that were straight on, and you're looking at the dialogue and the person speaking to each other, switching camera movements and editing, that just felt uncomfortable, but I feel like it was in the wrong sense of the translation that they were trying to communicate with the audience being uncomfortable, but it just made me feel sucked out of the film rather than sucked into the attention that this person as a character was speaking to me to be uncomfortable for the purpose of the story. But it mostly just ruined the vibe, ruined the flow of the story that, for me personally, just didn't always work as effectively within some of those sequences. And while it pulls you into certain things that give you all the answers that I talked about into the positives, just the buildup of everything was a slow, meandering process that didn't feel as rewarding. At least getting to know the characters, getting to understand these characters here and there. But while there was a rewarding sense by the end of the film, I wasn't still attached to who these characters were, understanding their gimmicks and things here and there. And so just trying to process the whole thing, it feels like a after the fact rewarding factor that didn't have the right way of progressing its story as a whole. And so therefore, well, there's a mixed bag. I have to give a little bit more credit to what the answers had, and I have to rate it a simply 5.5 out of 10. Let me know down in your comments below your thoughts on Trap. Was it good? Was it bad? Or somewhere right in the middle? Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're not already to join the film culture community where we talk about the love of cinema as a whole. And make sure to do yourself a favor and go watch a movie.